The introduction of Marxian Socialism. The socialist critique of classical economy preaches dramatic reform, and their objection to capitalism and its elite evil was moral. So Karl Heinrich Marx, since 1818 to 1883, the leading theoretician of scientific socialism, dismissed the approach. He sought to show that capitalism had internal contradictions that would ensure its eventual demise, and Marx believed that social revolution was inevitable within advanced capitalist country, and he and his compatriot Friedrich Engels, 1820 to 1895, advocated that the workers of the world unite to hasten this event. Based on this image flow, we can see that capitalism is someone who have a private property, has a lot of business and factory owners. So when the industrial revolution happened, they need a lot of labor. At the same time, the people from the village came to the city to work because they needed the money. So they worked without asking their welfare. So the bourgeois, which is the middle class, was take advantage to the proletariat, which is working class, and the working class got the low wages, but need to pay the high rent, and even the bourgeois take the advantage to the child for the working labor. So because of this problem, Marxian socialism exists. Karl Marx and Engels want to help the working class proletariat to get their rights, to get income equally, and no monopolies in the industrial. Socialism have 5 main principles, which is the first one is the system of wage labor. This is a system whose purpose is to obtain profit for some people rather than satisfying the needs of all. For the transformation of society, Marxism considered that a revolutionary process that will lead to a society based on cooperation and the free distribution of goods and provision of service is necessary. The second one is the emancipation of the workers must be the task of the workers themselves. This principle is inherent to real Marxism, which implies democracy and self-emancipation. It also means that democracy is the indispensable foundation for a new society called socialism or communism. This society, liberated from the diverse forms of domination, will have to be freely constructed by its members. The third main principle is internationalism, which is simultaneously the recognition of the common interests of the workers of the entire world, and of the need to struggle on a world scale, and of the goal of abolition in the transition to a human works community. The fourth main principle is the recognition of the existence of social classes that divide men and women into distinct segments of the population, which is the recognition of the profound inequalities and injustice that separate these classes, and the recognition that as long as society is divided into classes, there will be conflict between these classes. And as a result, while they participate in the day-to-day class struggle of the workers, Marxists work on behalf of a recognition of society that will put an end to this class division. And the last but not least is the free exercise of the critical spirit, which is stop everything. Marx says that for the goal is to perceive reality as it is in order to understand it better and thus to transform it. So that's all for the 5 main principles of Marxian socialism.
I would like to present about Marx contribute to development of economy, thoughts in several ways. Some socialists consider Marx to be the single most important writer in the history of economy. Most economists agree that he contributed to economic analysis in several ways. First, Marx was an important participant in the struggle to establish a suitable theory of value in economy. The problem associated with the labor theory of value provided an intensive for economists to explore other routes for understanding exchange value. Second, Marx was one of the first economists to note that business cycles are normal occurrence in capitalist economy. Third, Marx accurately predicted the growth of large-scale enterprise and monopoly power. As this form of enterprise arose, economists has to develop new theory of business behavior and income distribution. Fourth, Marx highlight the substitution effect as it applies to labor-saving capital. Indeed, in some circumstances, new capital can replace labor. He also discussed the idea of labor-saving innovation in more detail than had any his predecessor.
Next is the founder of socialism. Who is? This is the founder of socialism. Okay, first is Henry de Saint-Simon. Okay, he is the founder of French socialism. Simon also argued that a brotherhood of men must accompany the scientific organizations of industry and society. Simon also proposed that the state carry out production and distribution. He is also allowing everyone to have equal opportunity to develop their talents would lead to social harmony. Who's next? Next is Charles Fourier. Okay, Charles Fourier was the founder of feminist tradition within French socialism. His condemnation of the injustice of contemporary society incorporate a critique of the subjection of human. Right? If child, women would live, live, and work with the same independence as men. This idea had a major impact on Fourier, contemporary and successor. Although few accepted his proposal unequivocally, he also believed that a society that cooperate would see an immense improvement in their productivity level. The founder number 3 is Robert Owen. Okay, Robert Owen, a wheel textile manufacturer and social reformer, right? Robert was a founder of utopian socialism and the cooperative movement. Okay, he is known for effort to improve factory working condition. Okay, factory working condition for his worker and promote experimental socialistic community. Okay, Owen's biggest success was in support of York education and early child care. Okay, next is Pierre Joseph Proudhon. Okay, one of the theory of libertarian socialism. Okay, the main influence Joseph on the theory of worker self-management. Right, by Joseph, property in production does not carry with the property in product. Okay, Mikhail Bakunin. Okay, Mikhail Bakunin was a Russian revolutionary, anarchist, socialist, and founder of collectivist anarchists. Okay, Bakunin influenced on labor, persons, and left-wing movement. Okay, Bakunin's idea had rapidly gained ground among activists in some cases, again overshadowing Marxian. Okay, lastly, the founder of socialism is Karl Marx. Okay, Karl Marx, he was an economic, philosopher, and sociologist. Okay, by Marx, socialism is simply the traditional praise about between capitalist and higher phase of communist society. Okay, the theory of Karl Marx is capital is dead about capital is state labor which vampire-like, okay, live only by sucking living labor and live the more labor it sucks. Okay, that is the founder of socialism.
Said in National Interest 1989 that it will be a sad time because there is not going to be any ideological struggle anymore. Idealism would be replaced by economic calculation, the endless solving of technical problems, environmental concern, and the satisfaction of sophisticated consumer needs. 10 years after the transition in the East, we are facing a growing social movement with a big skepticism about the economic globalization. More and more people are experiencing the negative effect of capitalism, and more people are claiming for alternative. Marxian is still relevant to reach a society of free and equal. The function of ideologies is to conquer the mind because the action of people are led from their view of the world and their wishes. Ideology only have an influence on a personality if there is a belief in it. The task of the economic today is to win back the hegemony at the battlefield of ideas. From 1949, when Mao Zedong's communists triumphed the China Civil War until the collapse of the Berlin Wall 40 years later, Karl Marx's history significance was unsurpassed. Nearly 4 of every 10 people on the earth living under government that claim to be Marxist, and in many other countries, Marxism was the dominant ideology of the left, while the policies of the right were often based on how to counter Marxism. Once communists collapsed in the Soviet Union and its satellites, however, Marx's influence plummeted. On the 200th anniversary of Marx's birth on May 5, 1880, it isn't far-fetched to suggest that his prediction has been falsified, his theories discredited, and his idea rendered obsolete. So, is Marxism still relevant in the 21st century? Yes, it is, because Marxism offers a tool to understand history and economics, and it single-handedly offers an explanation for the global capitalism crisis, which no other theory probably offers. And what is the possible solution? An evolutionary transition from capitalism to socialism via the welfare state model may well be the way forward. So that's all from me. Thank you.